Nolan Booth. Help me catch the most wanted art thief in the world. The Bishop.
Hello, boys.
Bye-bye, Agent John Hartley.
Hello guys, welcome back to Fastcuts, a movie with incredible plot, a perfect pairing of sarcastic quips and genuine humor, and an altogether gripping movie. That's what we should call Red Notice. Released in 2021, come along with me to the wonderful story of this exciting thriller.
Red Notice is a 2021 American action comedy film, written, directed, and produced by Rawson Marshall, Thurber and Dwayne Johnson, who also stars in the film alongside Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot and Ritu Arya. It marks the third collaboration between Thurber and Johnson, following Central Intelligence released in 2016 and Skyscraper in 2018. In the film, an FBI agent reluctantly teams up with a renowned art robber to catch an even more notorious robber. Red Notice is the search warrant issued by global police Interpol for hardcore culprits. The film was acquired by Netflix for distribution. The film became the most watched film in its debut weekend, as well as the most watched film within 28 days of release on the platform Netflix. The movie starts with a voice-over explanation of the love affair between Egyptian Queen Cleopatra and Roman General Mark Antony. Both of them committed suicide as they can't think of being separated. But few people might be aware of the third golden egg, which has been left behind by Cleopatra. Mark Antony had gifted Cleopatra with 3 precious golden eggs on their wedding day. A farmer in Cairo got 2 golden eggs from his field in 1907, but not much is known about the third golden egg. Somebody asked whether we could see that at any time, and the camera was zooming out. Then we can realize that it was an advertisement. The voiceover was continuing asking whether we can see all 3 golden eggs together after 2,000 years. The voiceover ends by saying that the first egg is in St. Angelo Museum in Rome, and the second one is in the personal collection of somebody. Nothing was mentioned about the third egg, but the visuals shown in between were that of somebody making a large golden egg very carefully. In the next scene, somebody wearing a coat comes out of a room with a bag in his hand, and from his body language, we can make out that he is going for something. It was Ryan Reynolds, and the title of the movie flashed on the screen. Now in Rome, few police vehicles coming to the place where the first egg was kept. John Hartley, an FBI agent, and Urvashi Das, an Interpol officer, came out of the car. Urvashi Das told him that our FBI identity badge will not have much value in Rome, and it has value only in America. John replied that he knew that, and hence he had not taken the identity badge. They entered the museum along with the director of the museum. Das ordered the director to close down the museum and evacuate all people in an emergency. But the director was asking Urvashi Das, with what power Interpol has to order her to close down the museum. John told him that it is better to act according to her directions, but the director asked him whether he is her bodyguard. Urvashi Das introduced John as an FBI profiler agent, and an expert in antiques and precious items. They went forward through a staircase, and Das explained to others that John has received a message 2 days back, informing them that the world-famous thief Nolan Booth is planning to steal the golden egg in the museum. When another person asked John who informed him, he replied that another famous thief named Bishop informed him. Bishop is a very clever and intelligent thief, and even the director believes that such a person does not exist. The director asked Dawes whether they should act on such fake information. Dawes alerted him, saying that if they are not taking proper security measures, he will steal that egg today itself. John was saying that by this time Booth might have stolen it. They reached a big hall, and in the middle of many people, that egg was there in its place. The director got irritated and told her that he is going to contact her supervisor for wasting his time. John was still suspicious and scanned the egg with a thermal scanner in the hands of security. The original Cleopatra egg was made out of pure gold, and it can reflect radiation, but that egg was not reflecting radiation. The person along with the director said that it might be a problem with the thermal sensor. Then John said they can experiment with it, and went to a boy who was drinking soft drinks and took it into his custody. saying that it is not allowed there. John poured the soft drinks on top of the egg, and suddenly it turned black. People were surprised to see that. Nolan Booth was also standing in between them, and he smelled trouble. John asked security to shut the doors, and on hearing this, Booth started running. Some way Booth could come out of the hall, but John was trapped inside. Nolan Booth changed his costume as soon as he came out, but Dawes appeared in front of him in another way. Booth blasted a smoke bomb and escaped from there. John also came there and started chasing him. Booth escaped through the gap of a steel frame, but John could not pass through that small gap. John checked the floor plan on the wall and reached the place where Booth will land. John pointed his gun at Booth, but Booth was laughing and made fun of him. John asked him to hand over the bag to him. Then Nolan Booth asked him whether he is an American and why he came there. John replied he is on a tour. When John demanded the bag again, Booth asked him for his identity card, and he said he won't give his bag to anybody without a proper identity of the policeman. In the meantime, Dawes also reached the spot along with a few policemen. When John diverted his attention, Booth jumped through a window to escape. John also jumped behind Booth. They were hanging on a windowsill and fighting for the bag. Suddenly Booth jumped through a waste pipe after grabbing the bag. He came to a garbage pool and then climbed a building nearby. John also reached there. Booth jumped from the building on seeing John and escaped in the scooter he saw there. John took a supercar he finds there to chase Booth, but accidentally he smashed the car on a van. There all his efforts to nab Booth were in vain. Nolan Booth reached his home in Bali in a boat. He took the egg out of his bag. He turned back on hearing the sound of somebody saying, "Very beautiful house." It was John, and he said he is an FBI agent. Suddenly a few policemen and Urvashi Dawes reached there. Dawes told him that she is taking that egg and bagged it safely in her custody. She told him that there is some piece of good news for him, as he was being searched by 18 countries, and she is the one who decides in which jail he will be accommodated. John came near Booth and told him that he was behind him, since he robbed the painting of a lady in the pink cap by William Strange. Booth challenged John to prove that the painting was taken by him, but when John turned back, that painting was hanging on the walls. Nolan Booth told John that he had purchased it from Amazon in the last offer. John knew much more about Nolan Booth and told him about his history of robberies. John told him that he is taking precious items only to get noticed and for publicity. He wants to be caught and again breach the jail. Booth asked John how he came to know about his plans and realized that it was Bishop who passed the information. Dawes asked the police to get him into the police vehicle. Another policeman was carrying the box containing the golden egg. Dawes asked him to hand over the box to John, as she don't want to carry it in the same vehicle which Booth is traveling. John kept the egg box inside the second vehicle. Bishop was there disguised as a policewoman who closed the door of the vehicle. When John moved, she opened the door and tried to replace the original egg with another one. The driver told John that somebody opened the tail door of the vehicle, and John searched there. Bishop was hiding there, and as they could not see anybody, they drove the car away. At the same time, we can see Bishop was hiding under the vehicle, and she walked away after removing her mask. John was taking drinks in a bar. Dawes reached there and opened the bag to take out an egg. She dropped it on the floor, and John realized that the egg was a duplicate one. John asked her whether Booth cheated them. Dawes replied that she also thought the same at first, but she was suspecting John also and told him that he does not have the FBI badge, and when inquired, nobody in FBI heard of him. Dawes told him that, when checked, she saw $8 million were credited to his account the previous night. John was saying that he doesn't know anything, but Dawes was not convinced and asked the policeman to take him into custody. John is brought to jail on top of a hill in Russia in a helicopter. He has been locked in the same room where Nolan Booth was also locked. Booth asked him whether he prefers the upper berth or lower berth, and extended his hand for a shake hand, but John did not respond and kept his hand in his pocket. Booth informed John that he will be safe there unless others knew that he is an FBI agent. John and Booth were collecting food from the mess. Nolan told John that Bishop knew that once she is captured, John will be behind her. That is why she trapped both Booth and John. John was surprised to know that she had transferred a huge amount to his account, even after she got the golden egg. Nolan Booth informed John that a billionaire in Egypt has offered $300 million to the one who steals all 3 eggs for him to be given as a wedding gift to his daughter, named Cleopatra. He said that is why he and Bishop were behind the mission. John was telling him that the first egg is in the museum. The second one is with a notorious arms dealer Sado Vos, and nobody knows about the third one. Booth told him that Sado Vos will be conducting a party every year in his house. All invitees are notorious people, and everybody comes with a masked face. He planned to enter his house on the party day and steal steal the egg, but John spoiled everything. Booth just told others that John is an FBI agent. Suddenly some criminals attacked him. Some security reached there and took John and Nolan Booth to another room, saying that Captain wants to meet them. When they reached there, Sarah Black, the bishop, was waiting for them. John asked her why she came there. Bishop apologized to John for stealing the original egg, and she said she only transferred $8 million to his account. She also told that she had hacked the phone call of Urvashi Das, and said there is nobody in the FBI with the name of John. Then she said that she had the first egg. They know where is the second one. Now the third one is left. Then John told, "It is so sad that nobody knows about the third one." Bishop told him that Booth knows about the third one. She offered 10% of what she got, and also to save him from jail. Nolan replied with a big no to her offer. Bishop left the place saying that they will come her way. John and Booth were constructing a wall outside. John told Booth that if he supports, he will put Bishop in jail, and Booth will be known as the top-ranked thief. When John and Booth were in the kitchen, John was saying that the party of Sado Vos will be tomorrow, and to reach there before Bishop, they have to escape from there soon. Booth asked him to sleep well, and also told him that for any plan to work out well, a night of good sleep is essential. Then Booth tells him about his childhood days and issues with his father. The next day Booth and John were going to wash their clothes. Booth informed him that he has got 3 steps to plan to escape from that place. They made an explosion by creating a chemical formulation of the washing soap and liquid. They smashed down the guard, came to the spot and escaped from there. They reached near the wall they were constructing the previous day, and removed a small stone placed to hold a big one, and with that, the wall fell. Booth had planned all these the previous day to escape. They walked through the side of the wall and reached near a helicopter. They beat down the guard there, but a few more guards came and started firing. John told Nolan Booth to run and he fired at the guards. Booth reached near the helicopter and smashed down the pilot. Guards were firing at John, and he shoot at the lever of the door, and it fell, blocking the guards. While John was running through the bridge, the chief of the guards destroyed the bridge with a rocket. John got hold of a piece of the bridge, but Booth thought John is dead and tried to take off the helicopter. He was shooting the guards with the machine gun in the helicopter. John could climb the helicopter. The chief launched the second missile, but at that time, John opened the second door of the helicopter, and the missile passed through the door and fell on a hill far away. They managed to escape from there with the helicopter. Now in London, Bishop was talking with somebody in front of her. He was tied there, and his mouth was also shut with tape. Bishop told him that she needs his computer just to send a message, and she said she intends that she should not be captured on checking the source of the message. Saying this, she sent a message to Urvashi Das informing her about the escape of John and Nolan Booth. Bishop also messaged that if they were to be captured, she should reach a house in Valencia in Spain at 8 o'clock in the evening. A guard came there, but Bishop knocked him down and escaped from there. John and Booth reached an airbase, and with the help of a friend there, arranged a private jet to go to Valencia. In the plane, John and Booth planned their operation at the house of Sado Vos. He said the egg is in a safe on the 2nd floor, and the security is very vigilant. The HD camera along with Mike is monitored in the control room, and they can watch everything. He also said the safe is made out of a thick wall of titanium, and it can be opened only with face recognition and voice recognition of Sado Vos. Then John asked him how to solve this puzzle, and in reply, Booth informed him about deepfake, and showed him how it works using his tab. Moreover, to open the safe, a code number also requires, which changes every 6 minutes. For the mission to be successful, the phone, fingerprint, face and voice of Sado Vos are required. They reached Valencia, and John entered there as a guest and Booth as a worker. Booth asked John to steal the phone, and he will arrange the fingerprint of Sado Vos. John saw Bishop also there, but she escaped from the sight of John. Then the party dance started, and John started dancing with Sarah, the disguised Bishop. Sado Vos saw John dancing with a very beautiful Bishop, and started dancing with Bishop with the permission of John. In between, John steals the phone of Sado Vos. Das saw John walking away with the phone. Booth collected the glass in which Sado Vos had drinks. Booth hacked the camera there, also. Both of them reached the safe room after putting on gloves. Accidentally, the glass in which the fingerprint was present fell and broke. John set the deepfake, and Booth collected fingerprints from the broken glass. They managed to open the door with the help of all available resources. Guards came to know that somebody opened the safe when Sado Vos is at the party. When John and Booth were entering the safe room, Dawes reached there and fired John, asking him whether he is stealing again, as Dawes believed John had stolen the first egg. John pleaded he is not guilty, but Urvashi Dawes was not convinced. Suddenly John kicked on the gun Urvashi Dawes had, and entered the safe room and closed it. They reached near the egg, but Bishop had already reached there through some other way. Then Bishop made an offer to them saying that she had both the eggs. But John rejected and said he is going to arrest Bishop. Then a good fight went in between them and ultimately Bishop won and took the golden egg. Suddenly Sado Vos and his accomplices reached there, and Bishop handed over the egg to Sado Vos. We can realize that there were some adjustments between Sado Vos and Bishop, and they knew the plans of John and Booth. They just waited to see how far the robbers will go. Bishop had other plans like stealing the egg after getting the trust of Sado Vos. The guards beat John and Booth until they become unconscious. John and Booth were tied on a pole in a stadium where Sado Vos and Bishop were questioning Booth to find out where is the third egg, but Booth was not ready to inform about the third egg, telling Booth that she is going to electrocute John until he reveals the location of the third egg. She started electrocuting John, and he was crying in pain. Sado Vos started pressing John's neck, and he was about to die. Then Booth informed them that the third egg is in Egypt, in a pyramid which is the tomb of Cleopatra. Bishop and Sado Vos were happy and had champagne, but Bishop had given Vos a champagne mixed with drug from which he fell. Bishop smashed the guards there and took the egg in her hand. She told them that she will just visit the pyramid and walked away with the egg. Half-conscious Vos took a gun and fired at John and Booth, but they were lucky, as with one bullet the handcuffs broke. John started following Bishop. John set Booth also free, and he told John that the egg is at another place. Somehow both of them escaped from Sado Vos, and also from a bull chasing ground. John and Booth were traveling on a train, but Booth was not revealing the correct place. John attacked him and at last Booth revealed a story about Adolf Hitler and Rudolf Psyche, who was looking after the precious antique collection of Hitler. There was a watch also in the collection, and Booth said his father has collected a watch from that collection. He said he has broken that watch after the death of his father, but the location of that treasure was in that watch. They reached a forest in Argentina, and Booth told John that they reached the correct location. They heard a special sound on the ground and when checked, saw a big door there. They opened the door and went down and reached at the front of a door. Booth put his old watch in front of the door, and it got opened. The door opened, and they entered to see a large collection of precious items. An old Ben's car was also in there. They opened a box and saw the third egg there, in that box. Suddenly Bishop appeared in front of them and pointed her gun asking them to hand over the egg. Dawes and a few policemen also reached there following Bishop. Then there was a shootout between all of them. Bishop, Booth and John escaped in the Ben's car we saw earlier. Dawes and policemen chased them. They reached a place and Booth made fun of Bishop as he had the third egg. They were arguing about who won in the robbery. Booth told Bishop that John is here to arrest Bishop and to send her to jail. John went near Bishop to arrest her, but they kissed each other. The twist is here. John and Bishop were working together to get information from Booth about the third egg. Dawes suspected John in the beginning, and it was true. John was not at all an FBI agent. Attacking John at the house of Sado Vos and beating him down was also an adjustment. Booth was wondering and shouting at John, saying that he was cheating him. John and Bishop escaped from the place with 2 golden eggs, after tying Nolan Booth on a tree. Now in Egypt, the marriage ceremony of the daughter of a billionaire was going on, and the father gifted 3 golden eggs to her daughter as marriage gift. John and Bishop were watching all these. They had sold the eggs to the billionaire and collected cash. The bride was very happy when she was gifted with the eggs. Suddenly Urvashi Dawes and a few policemen reached the spot. John and Bishop vanished from the spot on seeing Dawes. Actually, John and Bishop informed the police to arrest the billionaire. If the eggs had been seized by police they might not search for John and Bishop, and they have already received the cash too. John and Bishop were enjoying a vacation on the boat. Surprisingly, Nolan Booth came out from the lower deck of the boat. He told them that he escaped from the hands of Dawes. John asked him what he wants. In reply, Booth informed them that he came to take revenge on them, and he had arranged it. He also told them that he had informed Dawes about the account, in which 300 million was deposited, and they might have already freeze the account. John checked his phone to realize the account has been frozen. Booth asked them to join him for a bigger one which can be done by 3 people only. But John denied, saying that Dawes is better than him. But Bishop intervened and suggested to John that it is better to join Booth, as they are in dire need of some money. Dawes and policemen reached near the boat, but Booth escaped with Bishop and John. Dawes returned to the office and approved red notice with photographs of John, Booth and Sarah the Bishop. They are on the list of most wanted people all around the world. At the same time, Nolan Booth, John and Bishop were going to a museum in France for the next robbery. The movie ends with this scene. Summing up, Red Notice is absolutely fantastic and worth your time. It had all the elements of a perfect movie. If you like our video, don't forget to share it with your friends. Till we meet again with a new video. Bye.